Welcome to Embrace Joy, walking the road to restoration. Have you ever had someone tell you to be comfortable with the uncomfortable? As trauma survivors, most of us have never known what safety is, which means we don't really know how to be comfortable. We've never had a comfort zone. Oftentimes, we are stuck in either fight or flight mode, frozen. Perhaps, like myself, you have used different coping skills throughout your life so you could feel safe when things were not safe around you. Even with different coping skills, oftentimes we still don't know how to be comfortable or comforted. Today, I want to talk to you about what comfort is so that we can step towards growth even in the midst of being uncomfortable. This has been a really hard subject for me in the past. When my son was very young, I had a lot of strict rules for almost everything. I was full of anxiety that he would be hurt in some way. I thought back to my childhood and thought, I hope he never has to experience what I experienced. If I could have placed him in a bubble, I would have. As a mom, I had to let go, knowing that God was in control, because I certainly was not. My son had to learn how to deal with the discomfort around him, and it was hard as a mom to watch. But he had to learn how to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. If you were raised in an unstable environment, it is possible that you too have never felt comfortable. So, what is comfort? Well, I looked it up in the dictionary, and Merriam Webster defines comfort as a feeling of relief or encouragement. When you feel comfortable or comforted, you have relief and you are strengthened. Discomfort, though, is when you feel uneasy, and that can either be mentally or physically. With discomfort, you may be undergoing hardship or pain. It is important with many of us being trauma survivors that we work on learning how to be safe, what we need to be safe, and that helps us create a comfort zone. So, what kind of coping skills have you used in the past to help you feel safe? Having coping skills is not a bad thing. It actually is necessary to live through a trauma situation. Working with a coach or a counselor can help you discover more healthy coping skills to create that comfort zone. During my years of counseling to overcome some of the trauma that I have experienced, one method that I found helpful is called EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing therapy, EMDR. This was developed and used a lot with veterans, military veterans. And what this type of therapy does is it focuses on changing your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that are often a result from trauma. It allows your brain to actually heal naturally. I had several sessions with an EMDR therapist, and each particular session that we had, I was able to work through different trauma experiences. The healing was transformational. Another therapy that individuals have seen results in is the emotional freedom technique or EFT. This technique involves tapping different areas of your body, similar to acupuncture points. And this tapping on the body creates a balance in your energy system, where your energy system is often, when it has negative emotions, the energy system is blocked. So EFT is another way to create that comfort zone. And let me remind you, if you stay living in the discomfort, you can feel stuck. You have a lack of control when you're focusing on the discomfort, and that lack of control leads to anxiety. Sometimes trauma survivors can actually develop a sense of entitlement, and I had this along my journey where I decided, you know what, I have been hurt enough. I deserve to not be hurt anymore. I deserve to not be in discomfort. That's what I mean by having a sense of entitlement. But we all are going to face discomfort. We live in a fallen world, as you know, and when the storms come, we have a choice as to how we are going to handle the discomfort. Many years ago, I learned about how cows and buffalo deal with storms. When a cow sees a storm, it runs away because it wants to run away from the pain and discomfort. The storm, though, continues behind them. It is common that the cows will die from exhaustion because they cannot outrun the storm. Buffalo, though, see a storm and they run into it. Yes, they face the discomfort of the storm, the lightning, but only for a short amount of time because the storm passes over them. Our choice is, are we going to run away from the storms in our life, or are we going to run into them so that it passes over us? I don't know about you, but I would much rather be the buffalo, knowing that there is peace on the other side of the storm. Couple things that I wanted to share with you as we talk about being comfortable with the uncomfortable is it's not going to happen immediately, especially for trauma survivors, because of us not feeling safe much of our life. But we do need to make a choice. Are we going to run? Are we going to run away from it? Or are we going to run into it? We need to make a choice to face the discomfort. Some of the ways that you can face it and start slow is to implement breathing methods. When my son was little and he would get very anxious, I taught him how to watch his belly rise. So I'd have him take a really deep breath and watch to see if his belly would rise. It taught him how to do deep breathing. And as he breathed really deeply, then his belly would rise. And then I'd have him exhale slowly and he'd watch his belly go down. He practiced those breathing methods. So when he would get angry, I'd say, you know what, go see if you can get your belly to rise. So implementing breathing methods is so important to start developing that comfort zone. I've talked a little bit before about journaling. If you notice that you have negative thinking, negative beliefs, oftentimes journaling and writing those things down will make you realize some of the things that you need to change in your life and remove those negative beliefs. Make sure you celebrate your progress. As trauma survivors, we've come a long way. Even you listening to this podcast, taking time to invest in yourself, you need to celebrate. Each time you move one little step forward, despite the fear, is one step closer to dealing with that storm. Writing down your feelings of anxiety and stress will help release that energy in your body. It's full of trauma and toxic throughout your body. So writing things down and speaking truth out loud removes those toxins from your body. Don't give up. Be a buffalo. Instead of asking the question, why is this happening to me? What about asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Thomas Jefferson was asked a lot about his failures because he made a lot of inventions and a lot of them did not work. So failure he saw as opportunities. His quote, Thomas Jefferson is quoted saying, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that didn't work." So failure is okay. Experiencing discomfort is okay. Don't do life alone. We are reminded in Isaiah 41:10 that God is with us. It says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." When you do reach out to others, please make sure that you're reaching out to someone who is trustworthy, but don't do life alone. When I think about being comfortable with the uncomfortable, I am reminded of the serenity prayer, but I'll be honest, there are many parts of it I do not like. Yes, I would really like life to be easy, where there is no hurt, but that's not the life here on earth. In Matthew 6:34, Christ says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." That verse reminds me that He is in control of today, of tomorrow, and the future. Every situation, we do not need to worry because He is in control. As we close this discussion on comfort, I hope that you have learned a few ways that you can be safe by creating a comfort zone, even seeking out someone who is an EMDR therapist or EFT therapist. But tomorrow and the next day, I encourage you to read the Serenity Prayer out loud. So let's read this together. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. Let's continue walking this road to restoration and learning how to be safe in creating that comfort zone. Reach out to me and I will help you with one on one coaching or inner healing prayer. God bless.